All right. So going live here for the first time on YouTube also. Okay. Hey, creative ones. It's Melissa D'Antoni. How are you? Wow, we are in some intense energies. So I'm streaming live on YouTube and Instagram for the first time. I might have done this before, like years ago, and I used to go live on Facebook all the time. Hello. If you're here, say hello. Welcome. So I want to talk about the energy right now and a bunch of things and themes that I'm seeing, what's been coming up for me, for my clients, just what I'm kind of seeing in the field, and how you can use art to transform your energy, right? And the density that you're experiencing in your life experience into light, into higher frequency, higher consciousness, maturation, etc. Yeah. So we're having a lot of pretty intense solar activity and just energetics all the way around, however you want to describe it. I know many people are speaking about this in different ways, so I'm not going to go into that. There's lots of people that do that. What I want to validate for you is that, yes, the energies are really intense right now, and we are being called to maturate and to develop new ways of being that are more, first of all, that are evolutionary, right? It's time that we evolve and sort of jump off this hamster wheel of karmic cycling, right? Many of you have been reaching out to me and talking to me about how, whether it's in relationships, mostly relationships, in all ways, we're being called to grow up and to maturate emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. We need new tools, and we have new tools. The new tools are available, but we have to commit to growing them and to evolving them. It's really nobody else's job. I'm just going to say it like that. Like, it's nobody else's job. Nobody, not a spiritual teacher, not a coach, not a therapist, a parent, a partner. Nobody is responsible for your feelings, for your emotions, for your well-being, but you. Right? Obviously, I'm not talking about young children. I'm talking about adults. So we are being called to learn in new ways, right? Our well-being, our consciousness, our sanity really depends on it right now. And there's no escaping this. I mean, these higher frequencies are calling for us to evolve. So either you're going to evolve or you're not. And it's going to be really painful for everyone who is choosing, to stay stuck, to stay in victimization, blame, shame. It's like we're either growing or we're dying, right? Hello. Welcome. I haven't been live for a while, and I really, love going live, and I've just been called to go live a lot more and to also start doing more stuff on YouTube. So definitely check out my YouTube page. The link is in my bio if you're on Instagram. And if you want to get on my Instagram and you're on YouTube, it's The Creative Alchemist. Okay. So a couple things I want to say. When the energies are really intense and you are feeling it, it's so important that you drop in and start using these tools, right? Whether they're creative tools, they're alchemical tools, I'm talking like, something that has a somatic experience, because what's happening is this energy, this higher consciousness is coming in. The earth is evolving, right? And it's splitting, it's bifurcating. I can't even say it. Bifurcating. It's a bifurcation into two realms of experience, two different realities, right? So you're either going to stay in a denser reality, which is the third dimension of blame, shame, coercion, manipulation, where it's just like a mirror and a you know, sort of volley of this energy, siphoning energy from people instead of being connected to your own source, your own creator, and living your soul's purpose, maturizing your own internal world, right? Which is essential for this evolutionary step that we're taking. It's the maturation of the emotional body. It's healing the emotional wounds that we have been carrying for lifetimes, for generations, right? And it's our job. If you're watching this, it is our job to break these cycles and to evolve, right? So we don't pass this down, not just to our own children and our own lineage, but to the people around us. Because when we change, when we heal, evolve, and grow, we inspire everyone around us to do the same. Now, they might not always like that, right? People can not like it when you grow and evolve, when you stop playing those games, when you pull out of those toxic, dysfunctional, unequitable dynamics, right? When you no longer give your energy to things that are dysfunctional, and I'm talking about like gossip and, all these sort of lower vibrational, dysfunctional ways of being that are really draining energy and not generative and not really serving the whole of humanity, right? Well, some people may say, from a higher perspective, it is serving the evolution of humanity, because you always have to have the dark to evolve the light, right? To move that into the light, we have to have the dark. It inspires that growth and evolution, right? Because we see that and we're like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to. It feels out of integrity for me. There has got to be a more loving, generative way of being in all of our relationships. Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of that right now. A lot of gossip, a lot of just pettiness. And it really just comes from fear and people not willing to do their own work. Because I'll tell you, when you are doing your own work, when you are committed to your own soul's evolution, when you're growing and evolving, when you're living your soul's purpose, when you're building and creating and you're serving the whole of humanity, including your own heart, you're not interested in bringing other people down or talking shit about people, or, it's just like a waste of energy. Your focus is different, right? Your alignment is different. Your maturity is different, right? So I'm seeing a lot of that right now, like, in the field, in my own life, in the collective. If you have a problem with the person, be in integrity. This is going to keep you in those higher dimensions. If you have a problem, take the problem to the person who can create a solution. Yeah. But if you're dancing around, you're not confronting, you're not addressing, you're not having those hard conversations, you're going around gossiping, it's really just low vibe energy. It's just like totally disempowering. And you're just showing people the truth of who you are. And honestly, the people that believe it or that will feed into it, the gossip and the, oh yeah, it's like they are just enabling. They're at that same level. So when people start gossiping around me, and I can read the energy because that's what I do, right? As you heal, grow, and evolve, you can see everything. You're given sight. This is what, Yeshua talked about when he talked about, being able to see. It's like you have to be able to see through the heart, or you can have compassion for the woundedness, and the disempowerment that people that use these tactics, and that's what they are. because they're not connected to their own source. They're not connected to their own power, their own creator source. So they have to siphon and feed off of, this kind of false, pulling other people down or whatever it is. It's just very low vibe. So a great remedy of that, and one that I like to practice, and one that my late mentor, Dorothy DeVac from the Center of Excellence, who also used to work at the Foundation of Inner Peace, and Marianne Williamson was her assistant back in the day, with A Course in Miracles. She would say, and it's one of our operating instructions whenever I do a group or a retreat, take the problem to the person who can create a solution. Yeah. If you have an issue, take it directly to the source, right? Also, I'm being called to talk about so this comes up in families a lot too. And we see a lot of this in like a narcissistic family system where the parents are putting the siblings against each other, triangulating. I mean, it happens in every system. So it can be a group of friends, it can be a family, it can be an organization, it can be the collective as a whole, right? So if you really want to prepare yourself for the changes that are coming to our planet, you have to be doing your healing work. That's the highest form of protection. That's the highest form of love, right? Of self-love, is investing in yourself and your own healing. So you can see when people are trying to manipulate you. You can see when people and feel like because you're seeing through the heart, you can see through the emotional body, you can feel the energies, and they don't feel good, Like I had someone let's just say in my world, we just got a new puppy, and it's amazing. Like, how people can be, and they're not, I don't believe that they're totally conscious of it all the time, but there is an underlying like siphoning of energy happening. They're like, oh, it's like when you have a baby, which he is, we have a baby puppy, and people will ask you about stuff like something that's big here on the island is there's a real lack of vets. And so I had someone say something like, oh, you probably should have gotten a vet before you got the dog, and I was like, first of all, I was thinking in my mind's eye, like, you don't know, how I operate. When I am called to do something, it is something that the creator has put fire into me, and I know and trust that I'll be supported, right? And so of course we have a vet, and it all worked out. Granted, I had a dog before here, so I had relationships with other vets, and that all worked out. But then since then, all these people asking me from this scarcity place, here on the island, who's your vet? Who's your vet? No, who's your vet? It's just so funny. And it's just such a thing. And it's like, when you operate from a place of wholeness, when you're in alignment with your soul and you are serving the greater good of humanity, of the planet, of all living beings, and when you are in a deep state of trust and faith that everything's going to work out and everything will align, and you trust in the universe, in the divine source, creator, supreme intelligence of the world, whatever you want to call it, God, mother, father, God, goddess, great spirit, then you will be provided for in all areas of life. And I truly believe that. I mean, I live that. I've experienced that time and time again. And I've had many, many lessons around it too. So it is an internal journey. It's a faith journey. But that is essentially what Reclamation of the Rose is. The rose is our feminine aspects. It is the divine feminine. It is the internal world. It is the unseen. It is the, hi, Liana. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Um, and so reclamation of the rose is how we are being called to reclaim the feminine aspects of ourselves, the divine, and our relationship with the divine feminine, which is magic, which is mystery, which is miracles, which is, if you've ever taken the Abundant Creative with me or the Money and Miracle Challenge, which I haven't done probably since Sophia was a baby, and I should do it again. I'll probably do it again, maybe this coming fall. So look out for that. It's a super fun business program where it's like a manifestation challenge, and we get super, super clear on you and focused on up-leveling our abundance and prosperity in every aspect of our lives. Right? It's not just, it can't just be about money. Money is a masculine form of abundance. The feminine form is miracles. It's, relationships, it's frequency, right? And we're moving into an era where our frequency will be our currency. So our consciousness will be our currency, meaning how awake, aware, embodied, connected to your own soul you are will actually be the key to your wealth and well-being. I mean, it already is, but even more so because people are evolving out of those lower states of consciousness. And as we reclaim these old dormant, previously oppressed, repressed aspects of ourselves, like the emotional body, the spiritual body, the mental body, and the soul, then we truly evolve, we reclaim our wholeness, and we mature, we maturate, right, into our own evolution. So what does that look like? So it looks like, healing your own childhood trauma so that you can become into emotional integrity. Now, as a parent, this is something I've been working on with my daughter since she was, in the womb. Creating an environment where I'm emotionally free, right? So I'm constantly expressing my emotions. I'm not holding back my emotions. I've created a free environment for her to be emotionally expressive as well, right? So what does that look like? We don't repress anger. We don't repress sadness or big feelings. Like, I have a big feeling kid. I'm a big feeler. We're both big energies. Let's face it. Those of us that know us, we both have big energy. We both have a lot of creative energy. So instead of shaming it, blaming her, holding her responsible for the way that I feel, especially, that has been incredibly challenging for me as a cycle breaker and as a solo parent. Hey, guys, welcome. Because it's been really challenging. So I've had to really up my game of my own emotional integrity, which means my own emotional expression. So I don't repress emotions. I don't suppress them. We paint them. See, we paint them. We do alchemy here. Yeah. And then Sophia has been painting since she was like 6 months old, right? So whether that's, in the journal or in the studio, we paint, we move the energy, because really your emotional body, and this is like the biggest lie that we've been told, our emotional body is our emotions are a superpower. They're not something to be feared or controlled or even, regulated. Really, that clinical term kind of irritates the living hell out of me, to be honest, because it's not about regulating the feminine aspects, right? It's about maturing them. It's about channeling them. It's about using generative tools to harness that energy in creative ways. Right? Because our emotions have they have they have intel, they have codes, they have, emotions are energy in motion. They're life force moving through us, and they're here to evolve us. And when we repress that, we basically block our evolution. Why do you think we're dealing with all of this compounded trauma? And so many of us, generational trauma, especially collective trauma, it's because, we have had distorted beliefs about who we are on a spiritual level, on an emotional level, on a gender level, right? I mean, it goes on and on. So we're so much more powerful. And then when we harness the power of our emotions and we clear our emotional body, we heal, we go through a natural purification. And it's almost like a training. I mean, most of my clients know that most of my programs are like trainings. You are learning new skills. You are reclaiming dormant parts, soul retrieval, reclaiming dormant parts of yourself. And you are coming home, right, to the deepest parts of who you are. Sorry, I'm getting messages. Okay. So that's essentially what Reclamation of the Rose is, and that's my new program and retreat and painting pilgrimage in France this summer. In July, we're going to be nowhere near Paris. You can fly into Paris if you'd like, but you don't have to. You can fly into Marseille. The tickets are still very affordable. And I have a couple of spaces left. So if you're interested in joining us, we go deep into this in the paint medicine, right? In the alchemy. So you learn these tools. You'll be around other people that are also doing this work. So you'll be in a strong container and community of individuals taking this journey. And then also discovering the myths and the mysteries, right? The truth about the divine feminine, why it was suppressed for years, and how, and the story and legends of Mary Magdalene and her journey into France, and how she brought a lot of these teachings and alchemical tools that she and Yeshua both taught and shared and lived in their own enlightenment together, thousands of years ago, right? So this is so important that we reclaim the truth, because we can't heal without the truth, right? And the truth will set you free, but it requires a certain emotional maturation, right? To really digest the truth. And I think that's what a lot of people are struggling with right now, right? We are in revelatory times, revolutionary times, and there's a huge surge of energetically, even in the earth, it's like through the earthquakes and the volcanoes, and it's like all this energy in motion is coming out to be expressed to evolve us, right? And I just lost my train of thought. And it's up to us to channel that into healthy co-creative ways, right? But that emotional intensity, nobody's getting away from that, Oh, back to the truth. So why the truth is so important. You can't heal without the truth. And if you don't have the emotional muscles, right, or the psychological muscles, or the spiritual muscles, right, going on an ayahuasca journey, or taking mushrooms, or even, which, I'm not dissing any of those, but they will keep you from growing the actual internal muscles emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually that you need. You don't need those things to have a breakthrough or a spiritual experience, or to evolve, right? Or to heal. Usually in my experience, people that use those aren't doing the real work, and they have to go back. There's no shortcuts. Like, you have to do the deep work, right? And you have to show up and be present and conscious with all these disowned parts of yourself. in order to move forward. It's just, there really is no other way. There's no other way. You can, can't shortcut that, right? Because you miss out on all that growth and evolution. And there's wisdom that comes from the emotional maturation, right? From processing emotions, there's information, there's lessons, there's intel. I mean, yesterday I was feeling, and I haven't felt this in a while. I've actually felt really blissed out and pretty amazing because I've been doing this work for 20 years. But of course, there's always going to be another little piece. And yesterday I was just like feeling the solar flares because I'm super sensitive to energy, right? I was feeling the solar flares. I was feeling just like, totally funky. And I allowed myself to feel funky and just like go into it. I painted. I went on a long beach walk. I did all the things, right? And did all the things. And then I did a lot of alchemy. And it shifted, but the wisdom, like had I not gone through that, today I woke up this morning. And so this is what I want to tell you. And sometimes it lasts a little bit longer. For me, it's usually pretty quick, but I woke up this morning feeling so amazing, so expansive, so full of creative life force and energy. So if you're moving through some of those denser pockets, and you're doing the internal work, just know on the other side, there is a quantum leap, right? There is a shift, there is expansion, but you have to do the work to get there, and you can't bypass it. You can't spiritually bypass it. You can't emotionally bypass it. You can't psychologically bypass it. And that's why it's so important that you find a facilitator who, like myself, doesn't have to be me, but like myself, I've been doing this work for years. I have a psychology background. I've been training in the expressive intuitive arts and created my own method and using the arts for alchemy and creative transformation for 20 plus years, in my own personal journey. Not only that, everything that I have created in my business and in my own method is authentic. Now, I may have used tools or been given tools by other teachers, which I always identify and acknowledge, because I really believe that, we need to acknowledge our teachers and who we trained with and who we learned from and who we received medicine from, because it's taken me years to be able to be initiated into holding the space, right, for this medicine and to birth this medicine into the world. I don't mess around, and I don't really hold myself to the same standards that most people do in the collective or in the field as facilitators, because quite frankly, the standards are really, kind of pathetic in my opinion. And that's a big reason why I left the clinical model. So, you have to do the shadow work. You have to be committed. You have to show up, and you have to do your part. A good facilitator, a good teacher, a good coach, mentor, therapist, or whatever is going to support you in doing your own work, coming to your own truth, activating your own gifts, right? I'm just a guide, and I've been through it. And all of my programs are unique. They're based out of my own transformation, and that's why they work. And that's why people have been trying to copy my work, or they'll come train with me and then drop out of the training and take my medicine. And, for years it used to piss me off. And sometimes, I'll be honest, it still does, but I know they don't have the wisdom because they haven't done the work. They're not going to be able to express it in the same way. And I don't, quite frankly, know anyone doing this work at this level, using art in this way, with this level of experience. I just don't know anyone out there. And that doesn't really matter. But my point is that find a facilitator that is multidimensional, who is working with tools that hit on every dimension. So you're evolving your wholeness not just the mental body or not just at the psychological level, because you cannot evolve trauma at the level of thought, right? And it's not just about being trauma informed. That's intellectual, right? So anyone that's trauma informed is just using that, as a way to say that, oh, I work with trauma. They don't have the proper training. I will tell you right now, they do not have the proper training, because somebody that is properly initiated and trained in trauma has healed their own trauma, right? Knows how to work with their own trauma, is committed to healing their own trauma. They didn't learn a certification about that, I mean, I have a certification program, and you have to heal your own trauma. That's how you certify yourself, because you do your own work. The only way out is through. So that's all I got for today. Those are just some of the patterns. And a good coach and mentor is going to hold you accountable. Going to hold you accountable. They're going to be honest with you, and they are going to give you the tools and support you in growing in those muscles, right? So a couple announcements. I still have space in my retreat in France this summer. We're going to be painting. It's also a sacred pilgrimage, learning about the magical mysteries of Mary Magdalene and her journey into France, which I'm super excited about. We spent all last summer, going on the Magdalene Trail, my daughter and I, Sophia. And a big part of my work is raising awareness and consciousness and giving people experiences, not just talking about it, but like giving you the experience of tapping into your own creative power, tapping into your own visionary wisdom, tapping into your own inner alchemist, learning to heal yourself, using the tools, right? Reclaiming the wisdom, reclaiming the power of your own heart through emotional maturation, through the freedom of authentic expression, and through, that integration. And that is the Sophia. The Sophia is the Sophia is the divine feminine goddess. That's what we're reclaiming, right? We're reclaiming the feminine wisdom, the feminine aspects that have been dormant and repressed, suppressed, and we're reclaiming them. It's almost like, I had a client once, what did we name her program? Reclamation of the Mother. Reclamation, I think it was Unearthing the Mother. And she had years of, creative experience, but also as a doula. I'm not sure she's doing this work right now, or where she is with that, but that was a really great, that's what I channeled for her program, right? Her soul's purpose. She was a doula and a body worker and an artist. Unearthing the Mother. That's what we're doing collectively. And it really takes all of us, be the change. The more people stay in denial, the more people resist taking personal responsibility for their own emotional, psychological, and spiritual well-being, and physical, all of it, the more pain and suffering, one will experience. So there's no messing around. This energy is calling us to get front and center. So if you want to book a breakthrough session, you know where the links are. If you're interested in coming with me to France, private message me. I'll send you the information. It's not public. It's really a private invitation. I'm hand curating this group because it's a really powerful retreat and week. And so I'm super excited about it. And what else did I want to say? Oh, and I am opening up spots for my 2024 apprenticeship program, which is how to become a facilitator, right? Using the arts for alchemy, mastering these tools, these alchemical tools as a coach, as a mentor, as a consultant in your own life. It is a very unique program. It's a year of mastery, personal mastery. So it needs to be, this is for people that are really serious about committing to this life, and it's totally custom to your own soul's purpose. And I really don't like how these two, I should set them up like that so I'm not like looking down. I got to figure that out. I don't know how people do that. When you're recording on 2 different platforms, bear with me as I figure out how to do all this. Okay. Anything else I want to say? I've got to get ready for my next session. So I guess I'll speak about that too really quick. So I'm actually painting with my next client, and she is doing the Sovereign Queen, which is a 6-week intensive. I love painting with her and painting with my clients. If you've been on a retreat with me, I usually paint there too, because, first of all, it's really hard for me to just witness and sit there while people are painting and creating. I'm like, I want to do it too, and I've been facilitating this for 20 years. So it's like, super fun. But we're doing a karmic clearing on the financial line, which is huge. So in the Sovereign Queen and the Sovereign King, we do a karmic clearing and alchemization of the family line, the feminine line for queens, right? And the masculine line. Oh, hello, balloons. I don't know why balloons are coming up there. That's funny. Party. And then the the feminine line. Oh. I'm getting a special delivery, a special doggy delivery.
He wants to come in.
Okay.
He's very playful.
Yeah, I think he kind of likes being on camera. My little puppy. So what was I gonna say? I totally got distracted. What are you doing? Okay, come on. Oh, you want to chew? Teething puppy. So we're doing the financial line today, which is the completion. So it's the family line. So you're dealing with the family karmic patterns, right? The stuff that repeats, that has repeated, the generational trauma or curses, as some people like to say, cords, whatever you want to say. I like to call it, it's just a karmic pattern. These are lessons, right? That a bloodline needs to integrate, that someone needs to break the cycle of these energetic patterns. That's what they are, and evolve them, right? And we do that within ourselves, within our own healing and evolution. And it's not comfortable. It's really hard work. It's mastery level work. I'm not going to lie. But it will set you free. It will totally set you free. And there's so many gifts and activations and abundance that comes from doing this deep work, especially right now. So it's the feminine line for women, the masculine line for men, and then everyone does the financial line. And the reason why I chose for this particular program, the masculine, the family line, the masculine or feminine line, right? So it's the karma, the patterns, energetic patterns for being in a woman's body, right? The feminine wounds, the mother wound, the woman's wound, right? And then men also carry the patriarchal, right? The masculine wound. And it's very unique and it's specific. So we go into those patterns and then we do soul retrieval on all of that so that you can clear that and free the energetics. And we do it in the paint and we do a ceremony. It's really powerful. And then the financial line. And the reason why is because so many people have sold their soul to money, right? And are so distorted and disconnected from spirit because they have made money their God. Let's face it. So we live in a culture where most people are chasing money because they're disconnected from their soul. They've sold their soul, and their actions, their life force, right, is being used and abused, right? And we have to heal the trauma to then clear the karma of those patterns and tap into true prosperity, which is our connection with the creator. It's restoring our soul. It is rewiring the beliefs about God, because God and all sufficiency is our divine birthright. And then really claiming that for ourselves, right? Really deciding this is how I'm going to create my reality. Oh, you want to? Okay, we'll just do a quick little hello with the pup. This is Yoda. You want to say hi? My little studio dog. Oh, I might put some pictures up. He was so cute. He was painting with me the other day, and he reminded me so much of Speedy G, my previous dog. If anyone remembers painting with me in Austin, at my studio in Austin, or in any of my retreats here in Martha's Vineyard, he was a retreat dog, a studio dog, and he would just sit in people's laps as they painted. He knew who to go. He was a healing dog. And I feel like this dog, Yoda, has many, many lessons for us, many wise teachings. As we've been potty training, I can happily say that we're almost there. He's about 13. He's actually 13 weeks today. Oh, you want to take a nap? He's tired. Such a blessing in our lives. That's something else I want to just quickly say, and then I'll wrap up because I got to go. But so many people were like, oh, you don't get a dog. Back to the dog as a teacher. Don't get a dog. A dog is so much work, and you travel, and how are you going to do this? And it's expensive, and oh my God, there's no vets, and scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. I didn't listen to anyone. I listened to my soul. I listened to my spirit. I was led to the perfect dog for me and my family. Actually, Sophie and I both, we went and chose this dog. And I didn't listen to people. And yeah, it was a stretch. And yeah, potty training a baby puppy is hard work. And it was an investment on many levels. But the return, this dog has already been such a blessing to our family and to our community. I take him with me everywhere. And he just brightens everyone's day. How abundant is that? So I think we have to really, focus on what's true, focus on what's true in your own heart, even if other people are, challenging that. Most likely they're not living their own truth. They're not living from their own soul. They're just really disconnected from their own source. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. If you want to book a session, hello. If you want to book a session, a break-free session, I've opened up a couple of spots. So these are 90-minute sessions with me. We use paint and alchemy. So if you're feeling these energies and you want to learn new tools on how to use art for transformation, I do have a couple of sessions, breakthrough sessions, 90 minutes. Hey, Cassie. To learn how to alchemize energy. It's energy work using paint, right? It's basically what it is. And it works. And the reason why paint, kind of similar to EFT, is so powerful is because painting is kinesthetic. It's energetic. But it's physical, it's emotional, it's soulful, right? And you're working on all the dimensions. So I'll leave it at that. And I expect to go live more for sure. I'm going to try to here in the studio, at least until we go to France this summer. And I'm sending you guys so much love. Find the support you need. You do the work. Take beautiful, sweet, gentle care of yourself right now. Surround yourself with loving people who are committed to their own growth and evolution. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Bye for now.